In 1993, Paul Molitor began his major league career outside of Milwaukee when he signed with the Toronto Blue Jays. By the end of the season, he helped the Blue Jays to the World Championship. The MVP of the 1993 World Series may be playing his final game in Toronto, where, as a player, he achieved the ultimate goal, a World Series championship. All we really know for sure is it's a beautiful day in Toronto, and this is the last game this year between the Twins and Toronto Blue Jays. And we'll be playing outside here at Sky Dome for the final game of this series. The Twins still looking for a win here in Toronto in this series. And welcome to Sky Dome. Dick Bramer and Burt Blyleven with you on MSC today. We don't know whether Paul Molitor is going to play his last game here in Toronto today, but if he is going to play his final game where he won a world championship, it's going to be a special day for Paul, and I think for the fans here in Toronto as well.
Well, Paul in the lineup today, going to play first base for Tom Kelly and the Minnesota Twins. Paul Molitor played 3 years here in Toronto in a Toronto uniform, his best in 1993 when he was second in the American League with that .332 batting average. John Olerud, also on the Toronto Blue Jays, led the American League with a .363 that year. The 1993 MVP, Paul Molitor, had a great year in a Toronto Blue Jay uniform.
And so the Blue Jays, who won a World Series in '92 and '93, are like the Twins. They'd like to get back there as soon as possible. They've got some very talented young outfielders here in Toronto, and the guy who's hurt the Twins the most this year is Shawn Green.
Well, Shawn Green playing right field for the Toronto Blue Jays. 3 home runs over his last 2 games against the Minnesota Twin pitching. 7 so far this year. Showing a lot of power. 7 RBIs over the last couple games. Defensively, a nice running catch on a foul ball. Yesterday's ball game, Shawn Green 2 for 4 on Friday night. A solo home run, a 2-run homer. Then yesterday's ball game, another good day, 3 for 5 with a solo home run. 7 RBIs. We have to find a way to get this guy off the bases.
The way the Twins have seen Shawn Green play, they expect him to be an all-star at some point. The only Toronto player who made this year's all-star team is today's starting pitcher, Roger Clemens.
Roger Clemens, 11 in a row. That's what he's won. Roger Clemens always tough on the Twins. 18-10 lifetime. Frankie Rodriguez pitching for the Twins. He's had 3 very good outings. He's going to need another one against Roger Clemens.
On a beautiful day like today, Toronto might be the most beautiful city in North America. We hope we'll have a good ball game for you as the Twins and Blue Jays wrap up their season series from Toronto. It's nice here in January or February. In fact, I've been here in January and February, and I know it's not that nice here, but boy, this is beautiful. And,
absolutely beautiful.
Next to our respective hometowns, Toronto might be the prettiest city in North America. You would pick Fort Myers as prettiest, right?
In North America, yes.
And I'll take Minneapolis-St. Paul. Count them as one city, and that'll be my pick. But it is a beautiful day here in Toronto, and they've rolled the roof back. Twins played indoors on Friday and lost a 1-run ball game, and were blown out yesterday with the roof rolled back. So we'll hope for a better outcome here. It'll be a tough assignment for the Twins, and they'll go at it with this lineup, and it's a different lineup than the one originally posted. Pat Mears scratched from the original lineup with a sore ankle. Brent Gates leads off, playing third base. Alex Ochoa inserted into the lineup with the absence of Pat Mears. He's in right field. Then Paul Molitor, as Burt mentioned, at first base today. Matt Lawton in center. Marty Cordova in left. Todd Walker hitting 6th and playing second base. The designated hitters, Terry Steinbach. There just aren't a whole lot of options for Tom Kelly right now. Javi Valentin and Denny Hocking rounded out. Twins have now 3 injured players on the bench. David Ortiz, Otis Nixon, and Pat Mears. And all this guy has done is do in July and August what he did at the start of the year last year, and that is win 11 games in a row.
Well, Roger Clemens, last year's American League Cy Young Award winner, and he only won that for the 4th time. looking for number 5 this year. Very good numbers. Look at that. Only 139 hits in 189 innings pitched. 209 strikeouts, averaging 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. Coming off a game against the Kansas City Royals, he struck out 18. He has pitched 2 shutouts in a row. 18 and 10 lifetime against the Twins.
This is nitpicking, okay, but his walks are up a little bit. Other than that, he's probably going to win the Cy Young Award again this year, and there's a very good chance that both he and Greg Maddux will win their 5th Cy Youngs this year. That's something that's never been done, and we may have it done twice in the same year.
Well, Clemens first in the American League with a 200 opponent's batting average. 200.
Here's the Toronto defense. Hasn't been as stable as it was last year. Darren Fletcher catches again today. It's the same lineup that we had Friday night and Saturday. Tim Johnson's not going to tinker with a winning lineup, so the Menards defense looks the same today as it did in the first 2 games of the series.
Well, Toronto didn't take batting practice this morning. I think they were tired from swinging the bats yesterday. 18 hits. Beat the Twins 14-7.
Brent Gates leads it off, and he takes a strike. Of Twins hitters, Gates has had the best success against Roger Clemens. 10 hits in 29 at-bats. This is Clemens' 4th start against the Twins, won a very brief one. The Twins actually beat him. But he threw 8 pitches, walked 2 guys, and left the game.
Yeah, we had to get him out of the game to beat him.
Here, 2 strikes taken. Bounce to the right side. And Gates is retired. Putting the bat on the ball is a small victory in itself against Clemens. In his last start, he struck out 18 Kansas City Royals. And he has back-to-back shutouts. In the 18 strikeout game, he didn't walk anybody.
Well, 43 career shutouts. The 18 strikeouts, a Blue Jay record. That broke his own record at 16.
Here's Alex Ochoa. Didn't find out until about 45 minutes ago he's going to play today. Strike 1. I would think, not that Tom Kelly had any options, but I would think under ideal circumstances you'd want to have at least 24 hours notice.
So you can get sick or something?
Yeah, so you can prepare to face this guy. Outside, and it's 1-2.
Well, Roger Clemens, 36 years old, 11th on the all-time strikeout list now. He got his 3,000th strikeout earlier this year.
And joined very select company in the process. He just became the 11th pitcher to strike out 3,000 or more major league hitters. Now a full count. More players, 21, have picked up 3,000 hits. More players have hit 500 home runs, 15. And more pitchers have won 300 games. 20 pitchers have done that. To the right side and through for a base hit. Ochoa falling behind 0-2. Working the count full, and then a check swing single to right. Of the 11 pitchers, only 3 are not in the Hall of Fame. Nolan Ryan will be inducted next summer.
He's eligible for the first time next summer.
And the other 2 guys are going to get in too.
Oh, I hope so.
I've said this before. You're 3rd in the strikeout list. How many shutouts did you have?
60.
Okay. And you said Clemens has 40?
43.
Okay. I don't know if you'll be alive when you are inducted, but you'll get there.
I hope so.
Molitor with a ground ball to the right side and thrown past shortstop Fernandez. Everybody will advance another base, and the Twins have runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Probably wouldn't have been a double play ball, but Craig Grayback threw low to the second base bag, and the Twins have 2 in scoring position.
Well, like you said, it probably was not going to be a double play ball, but Grayback played it like he wanted to turn a double play. Goes to his left. Off balance throw. Throws it up the line. You have to make sure you get at least one out there. Ball going away into left field. Ochoa making it over to third, and Paul Molitor over to second.
So Clemens, even though he's been pitching well, finds himself in a little bit of a jam. Now Lawton lifts the foul pop out of play.
But like all strikeout pitchers, this is where Roger Clemens needs a strikeout. This is throughout his career, he's been able to get a strikeout in situations like this. But he's facing a very hot hitter in Matt Lawton. 10-game hitting streak going, where he's hitting .421 over the 10 games.
One hit yesterday, a home run to left field. And one of the topics of discussion in the dugout this morning was how the ball was carrying so well here yesterday. Well, the Blue Jays hit 3 home runs, so the Twins were victimized by the ball carrying yesterday. But Lawton hitting a home run to left, and that doesn't happen very often.
Got a chance to talk to Alex Ochoa about a couple of those balls, the one that Stewart hit and also Green. Both those balls he thought he had a chance to catch.
Yeah.
And they went out.
2-1 to Lawton. 2-2.
Well, Roger Clemens throws extremely hard, probably in the mid-90s. What has really helped him is he's come up with that split finger.
That's the pitch the Royals said after his 18 strikeout performance against them last week. That's the pitch that was devastating against Kansas City the other night.
Well, look for it right here. There it is, but it's down in the dirt.
Second full count of the inning. Nice stop by Darren Fletcher to keep Ochoa at third.
And as a starting pitcher, too, your starting catcher is so important. If you have the confidence in your starting catcher to block a ball, just like Fletcher, Roger Clemens may throw it again on this pitch.
Ball 4, and they're loaded up.
And he does.
So here's the Twins inning so far. A check swing single to right, a ground ball to second, a walk, and they're loaded up for Marty Cordova. And again, we see Lawton's ability to take a pitch come into play here. Fell behind Clemens, and not that any of the pitches were particularly close, but Twins have a chance here to do some damage against the Rocket in the first inning. 1 strike to Cordova.
Marty Cordova, over his last 19 games, 16 RBIs. That's a good sign. Still like to see some more power. Only 2 home runs in his last 19 games. Has 10 for the season.
Shot to the first baseman Delgado, out at second, and the relay got him. And Cordova doesn't agree. Clemens pitches out of a jam in the first. The Twins come up empty. Here's the Toronto starting lineup. It's the same as we've seen the first 2 games of the series, with Shannon Stewart leading it off, then Sean Green, Jose Canseco, Carlos Delgado, Jose Cruz Jr., Tony Fernandez, Darren Fletcher, Craig Graybeck, and Alex Gonzalez.
Well, a lot of speed in that lineup, a lot of power in that lineup.
And some power on the mound for the Minnesota Twins. Frank Rodriguez has given the Twins 3 very solid starts in a row and 3 wins in a row.
Well, 3-0 over his last 3 starts, a 1.66 earned run average. Frankie, lifetime against the Toronto Blue Jays, 3-1 with a 2.61, so he's had some success against the Blue Jays.
1-1 to Shannon Stewart. Fly ball right field. Ochoa stares into the sun, makes the catch, 1 away. Here's the Menards defense for the Twins. Javi Valentin doing the catching. Paul Molitor at first. And then with the absence, the injury to his ankle, Pat Mears not in the lineup, and Denny Hocking will play short. Hocking was originally supposed to play right field, and by moving to short, they made room for Alex Ochoa in right. 1 away in the first inning, and here's Sean Green.
Well, you saw the numbers earlier on Sean Green, right on top of the plate. Like to extend those arms.
7 of his 29 home runs coming at the expense of the Twins this year. Two and 0. Well, Rodriguez is already ahead of the game compared to what the Twins have done in the first 2 games. The Blue Jays, of course, have hit for just 8 innings in each of the first 2 games. Their leadoff hitters have reached 12 times in this series. They are 9 for 13 with 3 walks, 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run. Now Rodriguez looks like he's going to get the first 2 hitters here in the first inning. Well, it's so important for a pitcher, whether he's a starter or a reliever, to get that first out of the inning. And the starting pitchers haven't done a good job of the bullpen.
Yeah, you're 50% of the way there to get that first out. No, you're absolutely right. As a starting pitcher, that's your goal each inning you walk out there, is get that first out. Get that first guy you face. Find a way to get him out.
2 down, and Jose Canseco's at the plate.
37 home runs this year, 388 in his career. And that's where you want to pitch him. You want to establish inside. Likes to extend his arms. Some pretty big arms, too.
So big, you wonder sometimes how he can extend them.
33rd on the all-time home run list with those 388 home runs. 1 behind Johnny Bench.
Pulled foul. Remember when Harmon Killebrew was playing, they would talk about how big his arms were, and Harmon's arms stood out. There were just a few players with biceps like that in his era. Frank Howard had big arms. They'd talk about Ted Kluszewski having big biceps. Well, now there are more and more players who've beefed up in the weight room, and still I'm not sure that Canseco doesn't have the biggest arms, maybe next to Mark McGwire.
Oh, players today, as far as major league level, and also you see the minor leaguers, they're just in better shape. They stay in shape year-round.
2-2 to Canseco with 2 gone in the first inning. Fouled back.
Well, Frankie Rodriguez walking off the mound right there. Don't know if he hurt himself.
I think he tried to get a little
extra on that.
Extra on that, yeah. Tried to get strike 3.
Well, you put a little extra on it. I like the way Frankie's going at it so far. Give it all you've got.
There's strike 3. And Rodriguez has a 1-2-3 first inning. Pitchers like to sit at the end of the bench. Frank Rodriguez likes to sit on the floor of a dugout. If you've ever been in a major league dugout, you know that's not the cleanest place in the world.
No, it is not.
But Frankie likes to sit on the floor. Ball 1 to Todd Walker.
Well, to end the first inning, Roger Clemens got that big double play ball off the bat of Marty Cordova's. Todd Walker's numbers. Finally got a hit in yesterday's ball game. Let's take a look at that double play off the bat of Marty Cordova. Delgado surprised me. He's playing in, and luckily for Roger Clemens and the Blue Jays, hit right at him. Look where he fielded that ball. Got back, covered the bag for the double play. A lot of times first baseman with bases loaded will play back, kind of where Delgado was playing now.
Yeah. And if he was playing back there,
may not have been a double play.
Sure. One and 2 to Todd Walker. When Clemens beat the Twins earlier this month at the Metrodome, Walker was the only Twins hitter who did not strike out. Actually got a hit and a walk. And the last time Clemens faced the Twins here, Walker didn't even play. It was opening day, and Walker was not in the starting lineup. So he just has a couple of at-bats against the Rocket. 2-2 to Walker. A chopper foul.
89 times Roger Clemens has struck out 10 batters or more. I think Nolan Ryan is in first with 256 times.
I think the Blue Jays raised a few eyebrows when they signed Clemens to a very rich contract. Clemens had a disappointing final couple of years with Boston, but they have gotten their money's worth and then some. Walker with a swing and a miss, and the first strikeout of the game for Clemens. Since coming to Toronto, Clemens is 37-13 with an ERA of about 2.5.
Well, looks like a good fastball down and in. Todd Walker swinging through it, and Clemens picking up his first strikeout.
Here is Terry Steinbach. Snapped his bat, and Graybeck makes the play. So Terry, the designated hitter today, lasts about 5 seconds in his first at bat.
Well, you know, if you're a strikeout pitcher like Roger Clemens, that first pitch is so important. And he got the ball in on Terry, and because hitters go up there thinking that they have to swing as soon as the ball's near the plate, they don't want to get into that 2-strikeout mode.
Charge lines are open this afternoon if you'd like to order Twins tickets. Javi Valentin, the hitter. And he takes ball one. It's a Sunday afternoon game, and that usually means Valentin's in the lineup. 1-1.
Valentin just one hit in his last 25 at bats.
And I don't know why it is, but on Sunday afternoons it seems as if you always get the other team's #1 starter. Now with the Yankees, of course, it's a toss-up, but the Twins did get David Wells on that fateful Sunday afternoon at Yankee Stadium, but it seems like it's always Mike Messina, somebody like Clemens. Why is that?
It's a day game.
And if I'm wondering,
a little bright, hard to see.
And if I'm wondering that, you can imagine it's probably crossed the mind of Valentin too. He usually has to play on Sundays.
Well, you're talking about the Blue Jays taking the gamble and giving Roger Clemens all that money. Signed him that big year contract last year. Won the Cy Young Award for the 4th time, his first time as a Blue Jay. 37-13 since he's been in a Blue Jay uniform.
3-1 pitch lifted to left field. Shannon Stewart with the catch, and Clemens has a much easier time of it in the second inning. No score going to the second. The Blue Jays have the lead in this season series, 6-4. This is the final game, and the Twins would love to finish the road trip with a 300 mark or 500 mark. More baseball action coming up on Thursdays on MSC. A National League battle this week on Fox Baseball Thursdays. The Rockies taking on the Brewers. Thursday night at 7 on MSC, your ultimate sports connection. In the bottom of the second inning, Frank Rodriguez will face Carlos Delgado, Jose Cruz Jr., and Tony Fernandez. There's really no other way to put it. The Twins starting pitching in August has been dreadful. They have not had a complete game in the month. They have had 4 starts, only 4 starts where a starting pitcher has gone 7 innings, and Frank Rodriguez has all 4 of those starts. Little pop-up near the Toronto dugout, and it's out of play. But imagine, you know, not having a complete game is bad enough. But to have just 4 starts where a starter's gone 7 innings, and frankly there have been more starts where the Twin starter's gone less than 3. So the bullpen has been overworked in August, and Rodriguez can't be held accountable for that. He has done his job, and done a very nice job since being moved into the rotation.
Oh, we always talk about quality starts, or I do. What is a quality start? When a starting pitcher goes 6 innings or more and gives up 3 runs or less. Well, before the All-Star break, we averaged about 70% of the games were quality starts. But since the All-Star break, only about 20% of the games have been quality starts.
In that sense, the first 2 games of this series have been typical for how the whole month has gone. LaTroy Hawkins did go 6 innings, but the Blue Jays scored 4 runs against him. And then yesterday, Brad Radke had another short start. So you can make a case for Rodriguez being the best starter the Twins have had in the month of August. And frankly, the competition isn't close. He's been the only one who's really taken the ball and done a good job time after time.
Yeah, since coming back from Salt Lake City, Frankie Rodriguez, 5 of his 7 starts have been quality starts. But this is a pitch right here that's really helped him out. It's that curveball. Good aggressiveness with his fastball. We saw him strike out Canseco on a good fastball. But the breaking ball, this is a pitch that has gotten him a lot of strikeouts. Struck out a career high 5 starts ago against Kansas City with 9. Had 8 starts against Tampa Bay in his last start.
1 out. Jose Cruz at the plate, and he takes a strike. It's interesting to hear and read the comments of opposing hitters after they face Rodriguez, and they talk about his ability to throw a variety of pitches for strikes and change speeds. He'll throw one curveball that maybe is hard, then he'll take a little bit off, and that's if he has learned that this year, then the Twins' patience with him will have been well rewarded, because that's the essence of pitching right there. 2-1 to Cruz.
Well, pitching is nothing more than staying back, staying tall, and driving toward the mound or toward home plate. Rodriguez is finally starting to realize that you could get ahead with a fastball, and then you'd get him out with a breaking ball. There's a good cut fastball right there. Could be a slider down and in. But you're facing a guy, Cruz, who's been really hot since coming back to the major league level, hitting around 380 since his call-up. So Rodriguez showing him 3 breaking balls and then a cut fastball. And there's the fastball.
First 4 months of the season are months that Cruz would like to forget for a number of reasons. Didn't hit well, didn't get many extra bases, sent down, and then he had a very frightening experience in May. Middle of May, he had an allergic reaction to some medication, and they say it was a near fatal situation. They had to rush him to a hospital, and his windpipe was constricted. He had a hard time breathing, and he was okay within hours after getting some medical attention, but at the time there were a lot of people frightened here about what was going on. 3-2 to Cruz. It's a pretty young and talented outfield the Blue Jays have now, with Cruz, Stewart, and Green.
Yeah, Cruz, just 24 years old, takes a walk from Frankie Rodriguez. Last 2 pitches, pretty good pitches to Cruz. He's been swinging a hot bat, but Cruz good at bat because he didn't swing at those pitches down.
Tony Fernandez will hit. He has had a good series. 3 hits and a walk last night.
He's had a good career.
Despite hopscotching around Major League Baseball, he is Toronto's all-time hit leader. This is 3rd stint with the Blue Jays. Of course, last year was in the World Series with the Cleveland Indians.
Well, if you're a Rod Carew fan, and I know Tony Fernandez is, he has picked up a lot of Rod Carew's mannerisms at home plate. Bends the knees right there like Rodney used to.
It was Jose Oquendo who used to do the same type of thing. Very relaxed, but very quick hand.
Look at the looseness in his wrists as he's just playing with the bat right there.
keeps hitting. The first Toronto hit comes from Fernandez. And the Blue Jays have runners at first and second with one out. Yeah, contrast his grip on the bat with Canseco's.
Right, just so relaxed, and then right there just pops it. All of a sudden the wrists become one. Line drive to left field. Hey, maybe you pull something. Take him out.
No, that's not nice. Here's Darren Fletcher.
Hey, they beat us up the last 2 days. We owe it to them.
On the outside edge, a strike. Fletcher finally got a hit in the series in his last at bat last night in the 8th inning. A double, an RBI, and a run scored. Had gone hitless Friday and was 0 for 4 yesterday.
Well, Fletcher, 31 years old. This is his 10th major league season. Last year with Montreal, had a career high 17 home runs. 277. Came up with the Dodgers in 1989. Spent some time with the Philadelphia Phillies before spending 5 years in Montreal.
Into center field, and the run will score. I think Frank Rodriguez thought he could have had the ball, and I think also Todd Walker thought he might have been able to make a play. As it is, it hopped into center field. Cruz scores the first run of the game.
Well, you know, Dick, sometimes you just need breaks in this ball game. Clemens with bases loaded, 1 out, got the double play. Here it's a ground ball, but look, just out of the reach. Saw almost the same thing from Brad Radke in the first inning yesterday. Every ball that Toronto hit seemed to find a hole. And this ball missed by Rodriguez, missed by Todd Walker, allowing Cruz to make it a 1-0 Toronto lead.
Craig Grayback the hitter. We'll see if the Twins can get that double play ball here in this at bat. Ball 1 to Grayback.
Oh, that can't be low. This guy's 5'7".
Did you ever pitch to?
You can roll that ball up there. Freddie Poptek was probably the smallest strike zone I ever pitched to.
I was going to bring up the name Harry Chappis. You never pitched to him? He was.
That's bowling.
Huh?
You would have had to bowl it to him.
He was a little smaller than Grayback, wasn't he?
Yeah.
White Sox infielder. 1-1. When was that? Late 70s, I think.
I think the 2 smallest strike zones, probably, well, Tony Phillips got really low. Ricky Henderson, right. And Grayback. I don't think he means to get this low, but he's 5'7". He's already there. He doesn't really crouch down that much.
Smallest strike zones I've seen as a broadcaster: Ricky Henderson and Frank Thomas. I don't know why that would be. And Wade Boggs.
And Tony Gwynn. I pitched to Tony Gwynn when I was with the Pirates, and he had a very small strike zone. If it wasn't where he wanted it, it was a ball.
Well, that leaves you the option of just throwing it where he wants it.
Yeah, hope he hits it at somebody.
Past Molitor into right, another base hit, another Toronto run, and it's 2-0. An RBI single for Fletcher, an RBI single for Grayback, and it's 2-0.
Well, Grayback in yesterday's ball game, 1 for 4 with a sacrifice fly, hit 3 balls to right field. There, it just looks like he's just going that way. Ball hit by Paul Molitor in the right field, and Fernandez scoring. 2-0 Jays. Grayback picking up his 21st RBI on the year.
Alex Gonzalez takes one up and in. Gonzalez has, well, Pat Mears type of numbers. Those are, Pat will usually hit in the 260 range. He'll hit 10, 12 home runs typically, drive in 65, 70 runs. And Gonzalez is that type of player, too.
Well, Gonzalez, 25 years old. This is his 5th major league season. Had a very good year defensively last year. We talk about all the great shortstops in the American League. He led shortstops.
See if they can get 2 here. Hocking to Walker. Safe at first. Out number 2 on a slowly hit ground ball, and Fletcher advances to 3rd.
Well, good effort by the middle infield right here. The ball just kind of jams Gonzalez. And it just not hit hard enough. Good feed to Todd Walker. And Graybeck doing a good job of taking him out. Todd Walker out, but Todd Walker able to get the ball, get rid of it before Graybeck was right on top of him.
2 in, 2 on, 2 out. And Shannon Stewart at the plate. Mentioned that Rodriguez is the only Twin starter to have lasted 7 innings in August, and he's done it 4 times. The only time he did not last at least 7 innings was his start at Yankee Stadium. He lasted 4 innings there. Twins starters in the month of August are 6 and 14, and Rodriguez has half the wins for the starting staff. Driven to right center field toward the gap, and a ground rule double. 1 run will score. It's 3-0 Toronto, with Fletcher trotting in from 3rd. Twins got a break. It's a pretty high wall out there, and it's not very often that a ball will hop over it, but in doing so, it, for the time being at least, kept Gonzalez at 3rd base.
Shannon Stewart showing me over this 3-game series, good low ball hitter. Hit a home run almost a little bit more off the plate yesterday. Here, ball just drifting into right center, bounces over for a ground rule double. And Gonzalez being held up as he has to.
2 in scoring position for Shawn Green. Strike 1. It's been a rough 2nd inning for Frank Rodriguez, who got through the 1st inning 1-2-3. Now 4 hits and a walk here in the 2nd inning. May not win Player of the Month, but my heavens, he should certainly be a strong candidate for Player of the Week. If the Twins have a vote, he'll get the award. The way that works is teams submit players and stats to the league office for consideration. Green dribbles one foul. 2 strikes.
You know, you get a chance to watch these hitters over a 3-game span. Green, to me, just like Shannon Stewart, a good low ball hitter. Brad Radke struck him out on a fastball away, let her high. He had a home run off Mike Tromley on a forkball or a split finger, and that was a good pitch down.
An appeal, no swing, says Jim Joyce. 1-2 for Shawn Green. He's probably got the smoothest left-handed swing they've seen here in Toronto since John Olerud. Rodriguez gets him, but 3 runs come across in the 2nd inning on 4 hits, and Roger Clemens will take the mound with a 3-run lead. Twins had a chance in the 1st inning to do some damage against Roger Clemens. They were unable to take advantage of it. They're hoping for another chance, now down 3-0. For each Saturday home game, fans can purchase a Coca-Cola Molitor family pack. You get 4 lower level tickets, 4 Cokes, 4 hot dogs, a game program, a parking pass, and it'll cost you all of $25. It's a $60 value. If you'd like tickets, call the charge lines. Quantities are limited, subject to availability. But then everything in life is subject to availability. Right?
Absolutely right. Yeah, you're talking about, we had Clemens on the rope in the first inning, Cordova hitting a double play. Guys like Roger Clemens, the veteran type pitchers, they get better as the game goes on. Usually if you want to beat them up and beat them, you have to get them early.
Hocking hitting left-handed against Roger Clemens. Ouch. Hit a gentleman in the back. And Denny Hocking. Is there an attorney? Hit a vendor.
Hope it's not the beer vendor.
It's amazing, isn't it? Something like that happens now, and people are looking for legal advice, not medical attention. That happened, I guess, this year, again with Albert Bell, where he lost his bat, went into the crowd, and he
beat up the guy that had it?
No. Clemens makes the play, but no, he adamantly wanted the bat back and refused to get back in the box without his bat. And
the cork bat he had?
Well, I was at least going to give the man the benefit of the doubt. For those who believe that the bat he uses is doctored from time to time, that would lend more credence to that. Here's Brent Gates.
He's too strong.
You had a chance to look at the schedule, didn't you? And saw that the White Sox are going to come to the Metrodome for a 3-game series.
Yeah, I don't want to get back to them.
You're going to have enough problems with Ivan Rodriguez.
Yeah, really.
And Alex Rodriguez.
Might as well get the Bells in there, too.
Saying yesterday that Rodriguez just can't hit. Meaning, of course,
Frank
Rodriguez. Who was the other Rodriguez that we were discussing yesterday?
Well, the reliever for Toronto.
Nerio.
Right.
3-1 to Brent Gates.
Well, it doesn't matter if this guy can hit or not. He can pitch.
Foul ball over the Toronto dugout. It's amazing when you think of it. In his last start, 18 strikeouts, nary a walk, but he's actually done better than that in each of his 20 strikeout performances. He didn't walk a hitter in those games either. Yet he says he'll never throw a no-hitter because his control is too good. And Brent Gates knows that firsthand. He takes a called strike on the inside corner.
Oh, I think somewhere in the future you'll probably see Roger Clemens get a no-hitter. Fastball in right there. Remember, it took Tom Seaver a long time to get a no-hitter. He was in his almost late 30s when he pitched his no-hitter.
2 down in the third. Alex Ochoa at the plate. He has Minnesota's only hit. A check swing grounder through the hole to right field.
Now, a line drive, base hit to right field. No check swing. Box score tomorrow, it'll be a line drive.
Pop up near second base. Gonzalez makes the catch. Since the double play in the first, Clemens hasn't allowed a base runner. You know any Christopher Cross songs? You want to hum a few bars of Sailing?
Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Peaceful.
You know what I've never understood about sailing? I've only done it a couple of times. If the wind is blowing, say from the east to the west, how can the boat go east?
How can you go east? The sails, you have to set the sails a certain direction. I've never been on a sailboat. This is just what they said. I like the motor.
Canseco takes down and away. Get to this part of the season and you think profound. Well, maybe they're not profound, but you come up with puzzles. You wonder why things are the way they are. And Rodriguez wonders why that wasn't a strike.
That's a pretty good pitch.
They have a revolving restaurant here in Toronto. And you go up there and they ask you smoking or non-smoking. Well, if you say non-smoking, 10 minutes later the restaurant revolves and you're sitting where the smokers were. So what sense does that make?
It doesn't.
3-1 from Frank Rodriguez to Jose Canseco. 3-2. This is their snapper mow him down inning, by the way. If Frank Rodriguez sets down, the Blue Jays 3 up and 3 down. We've got a very special prize for a very special lady.
Could that be a lawnmower?
Yes. Fly ball down the right field line, and it's out of play. Here are the details. If you'd like to enter the snapper mow him down contest, send a postcard to that address. Arlene Kimker of White Bear Lake did, and if Frank Rodriguez can do what he did in the first inning and have a 3-up, 3-down inning, we're going to send her a snapper walk mower valued at $350. Full count to Canseco. To right field. And they lost the ball. Ochoa couldn't find the ball, and Canseco's in at second base, and I have no idea how that happened. Didn't lose it in the roof. Walker ran out to medium deep right field and ended up getting his glove on it. But that's Ochoa's ball all the way.
You see, Alex, Ochoa, when I first saw him hit the ball, Ochoa went toward the right field line. And he doesn't see it. There's a lot of cloud cover here. It wasn't bright out at the time. And Jose Canseco gets a gifted double.
Well,
and Arlene is out of a lawnmower.
What a horrible way.
Yeah, it's terrible.
To not win a lawnmower. Fouled back by Delgado. Well, we're going to get, I don't know whether he'll follow through on it or not, but if Frank Rodriguez sets down Delgado and Cruz, we're going to give Alex Ochoa Arlene's address.
Wait,
see if he'll do the right thing and go ahead and buy her a lawnmower.
I think Canseco should buy it for her. He got the double.
He got the money too. Well, it's a moot point. Delgado drives one into the corner. It's a double, an RBI, and it's 4-0 Toronto.
Oh yeah, this Toronto Blue Jay lineup has a lot of hitters swinging the bat good. Delgado, this is a good pitch, a breaking ball. Almost picks it up off the ground. Watch this pitch. Good pitch. Just sticks the head of the bat out. Finds its way between Paul Molitor and the line. And Delgado picks up his 96th RBI in the year.
Here's Cruz.
That's a good curveball right there.
Yeah.
That has to be a strike. I used to throw that curveball all the time, and I always wondered if it crosses the plate and the catcher catches it low, it has to cross the plate as a strike. But it's a ball.
Walker from short right field throws to Molitor for the first out of the inning. There have been pitchers. Well, Tom Gordon, one of them. His problem early in his career is some people thought his curve was too big. He couldn't get a call for strikes. And as many problems as Todd Van Poppel has had, that was one of them. Great curveball, and he just couldn't get a call for strikes.
Well, you not only have to throw to the hitter or pitch to the pitcher, you also have to pitch to the umpire.
Shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't, but it is. It happens that way.
Infield in with the Twins already down 4-0. And what bothers me about that is umpires, when asked about the strike zone, defiantly say, well, I've been calling that, you know, my strike zone for 15 years or whatever. Well, that makes no more sense than Albert Bell, you know, corking a bat, or, I mean, there are rules that should be followed, and one of the primary rules in baseball is the strike zone.
And what does the rule book say? Where the strike zone should be, or we would think that that's what they would try to follow.
Right now, the Blue Jays have a handful of red-hot hitters, and one of them is Tony Fernandez. He gets another hit. 2 runs in here in the third, and it's 5-0.
Well, Tony Fernandez 3 for 4 yesterday. Gets a second base hit here. Drops ahead of the bat. Line drive, center field. Fernandez picks up his 52nd RBI, and the Blue Jays take a 5-0 lead. And against Roger Clemens, that's like a 15-0 lead.
Well, here's Darren Fletcher. 2 runs are in the inning, still only 1 out. We mentioned before the Twins pitchers have not done a good job with leadoff hitters. And the leadoff hitter reached here, although it really wasn't Rodriguez's fault. A little fly ball to right field that should have been caught, wasn't. And so far the inning has unraveled ever since. Fletcher with a single and an RBI his first time up. 2-0. Seven hits for the Blue Jays. Two and one. And Rodriguez, of course, had a 1-2-3 first inning. A 1-out walk in the second opened the door for a 3-run inning. The misplay in right opening the door here in the third. A foul ball down the right field line. Rodriguez is doing what the Twins had hoped all their starters would do, and that is show improvement. Now, in Rodriguez's case, he couldn't help but get better from where he was at the start of the year, because he was a big disappointment coming out of spring training this year. But he's pitching better in August than he has in any other month. Off the glove of Gates into short left field. Fernandez alertly scoots to third. So the starting point for Rodriguez was pretty low, but he has shown improvement this afternoon, notwithstanding.
Well, Fletcher going the other way, a double play ball. Brent Gates hits right off the end of his glove, gets the air. Ball slowly rolls to Marty Cordova, allowing Fernandez to get to third. So a tough inning for Frankie Rodriguez, a tough inning for the defense.
Nice block by Valentin. Very tough pitch to block, and Valentin got enough of it to keep the runners at bay. In an inning where the defense has not been sharp, it's nice to see this play.
Well, watch this breaking ball. Valentin getting in front of it, doing everything he can.
In his last start, Valentin did not have a good game defensively. Had a couple of passed balls in Tampa. So he wants to rebound from that and have a better game here today. 2-0 now to Craig Graybeck. He shot a base hit into right field his last time up. It's 5-0 Toronto. In the final game between these two teams, that's ball 3. And Serafini warming up in the Twins bullpen. When the Twins were getting repeated short starts earlier this month, there was somewhat of an excuse because they were pitching against the Yankee lineup, the Oriole lineup, and the Red Sox lineup. That's as feeble as that excuse might have been. It's less of an excuse here on this road trip because the Devil Rays have struggled offensively this year, and the Blue Jays are certainly not the Blue Jay lineup that led them to 2 World Championships. They've had problems scoring runs here in the past too. Right now it looks so that they've got some hitters in grooves, and as we pointed out, they're hitting some, in some cases, some pretty good pitches.
Well, they sure are. I just think
full count to Graybeck. Still only 1 out in the inning. Twins should be hitting right now. A misplay in right and an error in the inning. Now they've got him picked off, and the throw was high. You'll see that play work once every other year, and it nearly worked. Rodriguez with a bluff to third, and the throw to first a little bit too high to get the runner there.
Well, Darren Fletcher with no speed at all, free catcher, tries to get a good jump on a 3-2 pitch. Rodriguez did a good job. Watch his leg kick. Picks it up, throws to third, become an infielder, and throw just high, or they would have gotten him. Let's take another look.
He's out.
Yeah, he is out. So it did work. He just didn't get the call.
Twins have the infield in, and Hocking with a nice play, having to retreat into short center field to get that broken bat fly ball. 2 away. Hocking and Matt Lawton with a chat in short center. 2 away, and here's Alex Gonzalez. Now the Twins can relax the infield a little bit.
Well, not only that 12-game hitting streak, look what he's been hitting, over 400.
Ball 1. Gonzalez reached in a fielder's choice his first time up. Oh, I beg your pardon. First base umpire Terry Kraft said he went around.
Well, look at the pitch. I thought it was a good pitch. Down the middle of the plate, had the height.
One and one to Gonzalez. Fly ball down the right field line in foul ground. Molitor, Walker, nobody can get there. And Walker ends up doubled over into the seats. Tough play from Molitor. He still probably shouldn't do any excess running. His ankle still is a little bit bothersome. He says running straight ahead doesn't bother him much at all. It's making turns, which of course you have to do on the bases, and quick starting and stopping also gives him a little trouble. One and two to the hitter. Toward right field, toward the gap. Ochoa makes the catch, but the Blue Jays get 2 more in the third. They lead 5-0. I've been traded to the radio booth for Ryan Lefevre, Bombo Rivera, and Cash Consumer.
Welcome back to Sky Dome with director Dave Higgins and producer Tom Ponkey, Ryan Lefevre, and Bert Blyleven with you. And you knew things were going to be tough against Roger Clemens this afternoon. 16 victories, but the Twins defense, we don't see that happen very often, betrayed him a little bit in the bottom of the third inning when the Jays added to their lead.
Well, the fly ball that started that inning, that ball should have been caught, and then the double play ball off of Brent Gates' glove just makes Frankie Rodriguez work a little bit more than he has to. But the defense for the Twins has been very consistent all year. But when you're facing a guy like Clemens, you have to throw, you have to make the big play.
Molitor hits it hard, but on 2 hops to Graybeck, and Clemens has 1 out on 1 pitch. Molitor's 0 for 2, and that'll bring up Matt Lawton. Don't like to give Roger Clemens a 5-0 lead.
Well, he has a couple strikeouts, 43 pitches, 26 for strikes. He's walked 1. Had trouble in the first inning, but now is retired since that double play ball off the bat of Marty Cordova. The last 7 Twins. Actually 8 Twins. If you call the double play ball 2, that's 9.
Sure.
Why not?
Strike 1 to Matt Lawton. Twins had a chance to score in the top of the first inning after a base hit from Alex Ochoa and an error by Craig Graybeck. Clemens walked Lawton. You don't see that happen very often in a situation like that. Shannon Stewart in foul territory. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. Brought it back down by his waist. Lawton is out. Anyway, Lawton walked, and the Twins had the bases loaded back in the first inning, but Cordova grounded into a double play. Let's take a look at the Dodge leaderboard. Twins lead the American League, grounding into 138 double plays.
Yeah, that's a department the Twins don't want to lead in.
And a called strike to Marty Cordova. He ended the first inning rolling into a very nice 3-6-3 Toronto double play. Out to right field. Sean Green makes the catch. Clemens, with a 5-run lead, works a 1-2-3 fourth inning.
Coomer isn't playing today. Mary, congratulations. Ron Coomer still signing autograph balls. Well, Frankie Rodriguez needing 72 pitches over the first 3 innings. Has walked 1, struck out 3. I think he's throwing the ball very well.
Ball 1 to Shannon Stewart. He had a rough third inning. And you mentioned this last half inning. Jose Canseco misplays the ball. He made a nice pitch to Carlos Delgado in that double. 1 ball, 1 strike on Stewart. Then the error by Brent Gates. Only 1 well-hit ball in that inning, Tony Fernandez's RBI single, but the Blue Jays came away with 2 runs.
Well, Twins are facing the Toronto Blue Jays. They've just been swinging the bat extremely well over the last week.
How about that?
Not on that one.
Frankie flips to first. Really got in on the kitchen of Stewart, and there's 1 away. Target and the Twins have teamed up to offer fans Treat Seats coupons. Fans redeeming Treat Seats coupons may purchase 2 lower reserve tickets for the price of 1 at designated home games in 1998. Treat Seats coupons are available at participating Target stores.
We don't have that many home games left.
I was looking at Remzi Karatli's itinerary for our next trip coming up. And it was kind of surprising to look. He always has the trip following that. We go to Texas and Anaheim next time out. And at the bottom, he'll have the next trip following that one. And it said final trip. Where does it all go? Hard to believe we're approaching the last month of the season. Seems so long at times, and other times you wonder where all the games went.
Well, the Twins coming into this ball game, 59 wins, 75 losses. So it has been a long season for a lot of these players.
Green with a late swing and a foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. How about the series this guy's had? 0 for 2 today, but killed Twins pitching the first 2 games.
He hit some pretty good pitches I mentioned before. Seems to be a good low ball hitter. Radke struck him out on a high fastball. We're about right there. Hit 16 home runs last year, already with 29 this year. Also 29 stolen bases.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Stays alive.
Saw the same swing from Delgado as Green right there. Breaking ball. They have that really uppercut swing.
Try and pitch that guy up.
Try to pitch him about where his hands are. Well, about waist up. About right in there. Rodriguez struck him out his last time up on a breaking ball. He went underneath that zone.
One out, nobody on. Bottom of the 4th. Green has 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 5 runs scored in the series against the Twins. But 0 for 2 against Frankie Rodriguez today. Now a full count, 3-2.
Well, another learning year for Frankie Rodriguez. The Twins hoped that when they sent him down at the end of April, first part of May, that he went down and started to learn something. Came back. He's really been pitching well since being called back up. Was 5-7 in Salt Lake City. Had a tough time getting going because at the beginning of the year he found himself in the bullpen. Had to build up some arm strength. Started pitching good in Salt Lake City, and with Tewksbury and Mike Morgan both on a DL, gave Frank another chance at the major league level. Good pitch.
Bat. Walker to Molitor for the 2nd out. And Sean Green is 0 for 3 in this game. He hasn't been able to figure out Frankie Rodriguez this afternoon. And now with 2 outs and nobody on, Jose Canseco comes to the plate. Everyone says that Frankie's throwing more strikes, and that's the key, but it seems like such a simple explanation for Frankie's success. What have you seen?
Well, I think he's just more aggressive. It seems like he's more aggressive with the fastball, better control of the fastball. And that pitch right there, the curveball, is something that I don't think I saw a couple years ago from Rodriguez. He always had a good sinking fastball and little slider. Went down, worked on the breaking ball. And there's a good fastball right there. Again, good location. And it's almost like a little cut fastball. But just his approach, the way he's going at the hitters now at the major league level, he's attacking the catcher. He's throwing the ball right through the glove.
Great breaking ball there. He strikes out Canseco for the 2nd time of the game and comes back with a 1-2-3 4th inning. Twins hoping for better luck in the 5th inning against Roger Clemens. They've gotten just 1 hit and 3 base runners in 4 innings against the Rocket. Todd Walker, Terry Steinbach, and Javier Valentin to bat here in the 5th inning. Clemens really showed how to pitch with a lead in the top of the 4th inning.
Well, you get him some runs and he just becomes a different type pitcher. Roger Clemens will come right at the batters. Good fastball, that split finger. That's a tough pitch to lay off of. Even though it's a ball, that ball that's about chest high, got some zip on it. Todd Walker fouls it straight back.
Walker finally breaking out of that skid yesterday with a base hit. Chops one to the right side. Delgado catches the ball and steps on the bag at the same time as Terry Kraft at first says it's a fair ball. Walker is 0 for 2, and that'll bring up Terry Steinbach. Next weekend, Big Ten football returns to MSC. Don't miss the kickoff to the 1998 season as the Gophers take on Arkansas State. Tune in next Saturday night at 6 or catch the replay Sunday at noon on MSC, your ultimate sports connection. Steinbach swings and misses. He's 0 for 1. Popped out to second baseman Grayback in the second inning. 1-1. Steinbach got off to such a slow start as far as RBIs are concerned, but he's warmed up quite a bit, as you see in the last 43 games. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, Steiny had that 1 year in Oakland when he drove in 100 runs, but normally Steiny's around 50 to 60 RBI a year. It's a good RBI year for Terry Steinbach. Lifetime 272 hitter. Average is down a little bit.
Three and 1. Second walk allowed by Clemens in the game. Twins get their first base runner since the first inning. I remember being on the Winter Caravan last year with Paul Molitor, and one of the fans at the end of the session, when our dinner banquets, when the fans have the opportunity to ask the players questions, one of them asked Molitor why Steinbach struggled a little bit last year in his overall numbers, and Molly was quick to point out that the biggest mistake that Terry made was to hit 35 home runs and drive in 100 runs in 1996 prior to coming with the Twins, because that was the watermark that everyone was going to hope for Steinbach to match up to from that season on.
Well, and then all of a sudden now Brad Radke's been struggling. He won 20 games last year. Now, how come, what's the matter with Brad Radke? Well, Brad Radke's struggling right now, but you're going to go through things like that. Brad Radke won 11 in a row. Let's hope that he puts everything behind him, and he starts from afresh in his next start.
0-2 on Javier Valentin. That's what's so difficult about a pitcher struggling. Now, Todd Walker had an 0 for 21 slump, which lasted through 4 games. But if a pitcher has a slump for 4 games, that's 20 days.
Yeah, and Brad Radke, it's been over a month, so you know, you just go out there and try to do the best you can.
Good pitch. Throws Valentin at the plate. Strikeout number 3 for Roger Clemens, 2 away.
Well, his second strikeout on a fastball, taking both of them on the inside part of the plate. Struck out Brent Gates in the 3rd inning, almost on the same pitch.
Talk about young pitchers, Bert, that are afraid to pitch inside. I don't know if Roger Clemens, going back to T-ball in Little League, if he was ever afraid to throw inside. He lives on the inside part of the plate.
Well, you always talk about pitching on the major league level or any level. What are you successful? What makes you successful? It's the control of your fastball, and that's what Clemens is able to do. Even though he throws extremely hard, that's a split finger right there. He has very good control of the fastball, both sides of the plate. And that sets everything else up.
As a hitter against Clemens, I think you'd never be comfortable at the plate because you never know where it's going to be. And just when you start looking outside, he'll buzz the tower and back you off the plate.
He's had such a great career. 229 career wins, only 124 career losses. And listen to this lifetime ERA, 2.97.
Almost had an ERA below 2 last year, which nowadays in the American League with the designated hitter is not easy to accomplish. In fact, I think it's only been done once since the AL adopted the DH. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Hocking with 2 outs and a runner at first.
Yeah, last year Roger Clemens 21-7 with a 2.05 earned run average. Two on Hocking.
On the outside. side corner. 4 strikeouts for Clemens. Ryan Lefebvre, Burt Blyleven back at Skydome. 5-0 Blue Jays. Frankie Rodriguez allowed 3 runs in the second inning. The Blue Jays hit the ball hard. Got 4 base hits. In the third inning, he allowed 2 runs, but a misplay by Ochoa in right and an error by Gates at third helped the Blue Jays score a couple of runs. And then Frankie came back with a 1-2-3 fourth inning. Strike 1 to Carlos Delgado.
Well, Delgado got a double after Jose Canseco got that gift double to lead off the third inning. Actually, he hit a pretty good pitch from Frankie Rodriguez. Ball was down.
0-2. Just had a feeling it was going to be one of those innings when Ochoa misplayed the ball and Delgado reached out and pulled that breaking ball that was low and outside from Rodriguez. 9 out of 10 times, that's a routine grounder to first. That ball fell about 7 feet in front of home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Frankie 3-0 in his last 3 starts, coming in this afternoon with an ERA of 1.66. So he's not accustomed to being down 5-0 in the game. Red Sox with Rodriguez thought about using him as a closer. Then they made him a starter. Twins had him as a starter. Thought about pitching him out of the bullpen. Well hit fair, just inside the line. And either fan interference or security guard interference. The cop gets away with it, though, because he has a bulletproof vest, and I think he's packing heat. So if he wants to touch the ball, he can do whatever he wants.
Almost looked like he stuck his foot out. Caromed off his shoe into the stands. Delgado again finding the right field line, staying fair. Oh, it hit his hand. Now, where did this happen that they ended up kicking the ball boy out in Boston?
Boston.
I don't think they're going to kick this guy out.
Yeah, I'd like to see the guy who goes in there and tells him to get out of there. Had some problems with the ball boys in the American League Eastern Division. So a double for Delgado, his second of the game. Jose Cruz Jr. is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. No, the interesting thing about fan interference is that it's not an automatic double. And that's the misconception about that particular rule. It's the judgment of the umpires where to place the base runner. One hopper to second. Walker playing in short right field on Cruz, records the out. Delgado moves up to third base. So runner at third with 1 out for Tony Fernandez. Twins fans ages 4 to 14 may register in the Twins Be a Starter sweepstakes. Every Sunday, 10 lucky fans will win the chance to take the field with the Minnesota Twins, courtesy of Starter. Now through September 19th, fans may register at your local Sport Mart. Remember, there was a play when we were in Boston, Bert, when a ball was hit hard inside the third baseline, and it hit that section of the seats that jags out towards the line. Strike 1 to Fernandez, and a fan touched the ball. I remember Tom Kelly came out because the umpires immediately gave the hitter, I think it was John Valentin, second base, and the Twins felt that the way the ball carried back to the infield, that they would have been able to keep Valentin off of second base.
Well, I remember when we played that back, Pat Mears, the shortstop, he ran to that spot, and I think if the ball had not been touched by a fan, it would have ricocheted off the wall back to Pat Mears. And that's what Tom Kelly went out and argued. But Valentin ended up getting a double.
Fernandez calls time prior to the pitch. Twins will bring the infield in against Tony Fernandez and hope for a play at the plate with a ground ball, or at least hold Delgado at third with one away. 5-0 Blue Jays with one out in the bottom of the fifth. Late swing and a foul to the third base side. Who does he remind you of at the plate? With
Rod Carew.
Doesn't he?
Oh, yes. We had mentioned it yesterday in his previous at bat today. How relaxed he looks. Once that ball gets toward him. Oh, that doesn't remind me of Rod Carew. I don't think Rod ever struck out, did he? A big strikeout for Rodriguez. Picks up his 5th strikeout. Little cut fastball down and in. Nice pitch.
Looked like Tony Fernandez had a little Ty Cobb grip on the bat there with a little gap between the hands. 2 outs for Darren Fletcher. Fletcher has a base hit in the game, a run scored, and an RBI. Off the end of the bat, Gates charges in from third. Crosses body, and Molitor can't handle it. Did Fletcher head to second? He didn't. Delgado scores. A tough play for Gates, and the Blue Jays have a 6-0 lead.
Oh, this same thing happened a couple times yesterday in the ball game. Hitter takes a big swing right off the end of the bat. Gator playing way back comes in, and Molly just unable to come up with that short throw to first. And they give Brent Gates an error.
Ooh, that's a tough call.
That's a tough error right there.
Second error of the game for Gates. He had one back in the third inning. And that'll bring us to Craig Grayback.
So no RBI for Fletcher.
Yeah, you don't win the favor of either player on that play. You take an RBI away from one guy and a base hit as well. You charge Gates with an error. 2 balls, no strikes. So Rodriguez, after working a 1-2-3-4th inning, allows a leadoff double to Carlos Delgado here in the 5th. And the Gates error helps Delgado score from third base. Very high in the air down the left field line. Cordova jogs in, makes the catch, and the inning is over. With the Blue Jays score another run in the 5th inning, Frankie Rodriguez and the Twins staring at a 6-0 deficit. Blue Jays add to their lead with a run in the 5th inning and lead 6-0. Roger Clemens has allowed 1 base hit. He's walked 2 and struck out 4. Top of the order for the Twins here in the 6th. Brent Gates, Alex Ochoa, and Paul Molitor.
Oh, we talked about Clemens' last 2 outings, 2 shutouts. That's the 5th time in his career. He had back-to-back shutouts. He's never had 3 in a row. Blue Jay history, only 1 pitcher has ever had 3 shutouts in a row, and that was Dave Steve back in 1988.
Steve getting a win yesterday afternoon against the Twins. I was reading one of the Toronto newspapers, and the writer was making the point that Fernandez gets a big hit, Steve gets a win. Sounds like a story you might have read in the mid-'80s for the Toronto Blue Jays. When Steve and Fernandez were playing with Toronto back in their first tour of duty. 3 balls, 1 strike on Gates. He is grounded to first and struck out. Up high, leadoff walk. Third walk allowed by Clemens. Leadoff man on for Alex Ochoa. Brief 4-game homestand for the Twins begins tomorrow night. Tampa Bay Devil Rays will be in town. 33 Twins for tickets. 1-800-33-TWINS. Last time we'll see the Devil Rays. In 1998, Bob Tewksbury will face Tony Saunders tomorrow night. And a pitch down low to Alex Ochoa. Twins won't have to face Rolando Araujo in the 4-game series, but they'll get another shot at Julio Santana on Tuesday. He pitched a gem against the Twins on Thursday in the final game of the series. 2-0 on Ochoa. Alex had a single to right in the first inning, popped to short in the third. Nice play by Grayback. Double play.
Well, Roger Clemens this inning struggling a little bit with his control. Walked Brent Gates, fell behind an account 2-0. Yeah, what a big, nice friend a double play ball is. Nice play by Grayback. Good feed over to Gonzalez. And again, the Twins hit into a double play.
Grayback's been playing a lot of second base for the Blue Jays this year. He's been a utility man most of his career. But he has become the primary second baseman of late.
Well, since they traded Ed Sprague to the Giants, Tony Fernandez has moved from second base over to third. Excuse me, he went to Oakland. I knew he went in that Bay Area somewhere. Ed Sprague, but Grayback getting an opportunity to play. They said Tony Fernandez really had a tough time at second base because of the range. They feel he's he's a lot more comfortable at third.
2-0 on Molitor. 2-1. Nice short hop by Fernandez. Nice scoop by Delgado. Great defense behind Roger Clemens in the 6th inning as the Twins bat only 3 and trail 6-0. For pickup of the game in the top of the 6th inning.
Well, Grayback making a great play off the bat of Alex Ochoa to complete the double play, the second double play of the game for the Toronto Blue Jays. And that is our Hoover pickup of the game. And all like pitchers, you congratulate your infielders when they turn a double play for you or make any great play. You're only as good as your defense. You're out on that mound.
Grayback picks up Clemens after the walk to Gates. We go to the bottom of the 6th. And on our U.S. West call to the bullpen, lefty Dan Serafini comes on after Frankie Rodriguez goes the first 5.
Well, Dan Serafini making his 19th appearance, his 10th appearance in the bullpen.
Just foul. And this time the security guard, he's got it backwards. You stay away from the fair balls and you catch the foul balls, but he's got that nightstick and
he can do anything he wants.
Looks like he was a 45 in his holster there. Couple pairs of handcuffs.
46, 47, who cares?
44, 45. Yeah. There it is. Look at that.
I guess you don't want to jump on the field here.
0-2 on Alex Gonzalez.
Well, for Dan Serafini, this is his first lifetime appearance against the Toronto Blue Jays. He's pitched well out of the bullpen. His last 3 relief appearances, covering 7 2/3 innings, has only given up 1 earned run. No record, an ERA 1.17.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And you wonder what his future is with the Minnesota Twins. Serafini has done a good job in the bullpen, 3-0 in 9 relief appearances, 3-4 as a starter in 9 starts this season.
And he won't hide the fact that he'd rather be a starter than pitch out of the bullpen. Out into short right, Ochoa makes the catch. Gonzalez is 0 for 3, still frozen on a 12-game hitting streak. With Mike Morgan gone, and perhaps Bob Tewksbury being traded, there's a lot of talk about that. And just assuming for now, argument's sake, that Tewksbury does not come back to Minnesota in 1999, the way Serafini and Rodriguez pitch in the last month of the season here will dictate how active Terry Ryan is during the offseason.
Well, then also they traded Greg Swindell, so opens up kind of a long man spot in the bullpen. Serafini's doing that role right now and getting the opportunity and doing a good job of that. Has not had a lot of success in the starting role in his short career as a starter. He's made 14 starts. He's 5-6, but an ERA of 5.45. So those are numbers that are telling Tom Kelly or Terry Ryan that I deserve to be a starter.
Shannon Stewart, 1 for 3 with an RBI double. He's had a good series against the Twins. 5 for 10 with a home run and 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored, 3 stolen bases. Two balls, 2 strikes. Remember, we were here at the end of the season last year, and Otis Nixon was playing for the Blue Jays. He had just been traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Blue Jays called up Shannon Stewart. Highly touted prospect playing at Syracuse, their AAA affiliate. And
there's a nice article a couple days ago on Shannon Stewart about how he's trying to become the leadoff hitter here for Toronto. He went out and talked to the best one, Ricky Henderson. How did he at a young age make himself such a good leadoff hitter?
Good thing Walker caught that ball. 2 outs. Now let's take a look at today's Tires Plus trivia. Roger Clemens' 3000K was on July 5th. He was the first in the major since 1986. Who was the last? Nolan Ryan?
I know that one.
You?
Yes. Against Oakland, Tony Phillips.
Son of a gun. 3rd all time, I knew that.
I struck out 15 in that ball game. I needed 7 or 8 going into that ball game. I think I gave up about 4 or 5 home runs in that ball game too. But I went 9, and we won.
Who cares about the 4 home runs?
That's right.
Looks like Serafini might have a 1-2-3 inning. Walker waits for the extra hop, throws out Green, and down go the Blue Jays. 1-2-3 in the 6th inning. Dick Bramer will be back in the 7th inning at the end of 6. It's the Blue Jays 6 and the Twins nothing.
Thank you, Reno.
College football is back on MSC.
So are you.
So am I. This is worth watching, however. Pac-10 Conference football. Washington taking on Arizona State. Saturday night at 9:30 only on MSC, your ultimate sports connection. And I believe that will follow our Gopher football telecast that night. Ryan Lefevre, who was here, was he not?
Yes, he was.
See, I'm never really sure. I go to the radio booth, and I really don't know what happens here in the TV booth.
Not much. Not much has happened on the field either for the Twins.
Lawton 0 for 1 with a walk.
Well, we talked about Roger Clemens' last 2 starts, consecutive shutouts. Now has 26 straight innings of consecutive shutout ball.
We've talked about this before when we've done games with Clemens on the mound. I mean, he's a big guy, so and he always has been, but he keeps himself in such good shape. I mean, he's a physical fitness nut. He does an awful lot of running. Lawton with a grounder to the right side. Graybeck has it, and that's the first out. And he does a lot of the you know, sticking your hand in the rice barrel and rotating your wrist and strengthening your hand that way. And it's a wonder when you see how durable he's been and how he finishes games so strongly. You wonder why more pitchers don't do that.
You're absolutely right.
You know,
you look at his leg strength. He does a lot of distance running to strengthen his legs, and that builds up the endurance. He's 6'4", 230 pounds, but not a lot of body fat.
No.
He's one big, strong man. And watch when he gets to this delivery right here. He just explodes to home plate. And you have guys that are born with a little extra, like Nolan Ryan had something that not too many pitchers ever had. Well, Roger Clemens can do that. He can get strikeouts, his 5th strikeout. But he knows that it's a God's gift to him, but he works hard to keep it. Here again, driving. There's that split finger.
There are so few pitchers in the game today where their managers have the luxury of expecting a complete game. Now, it doesn't always happen, of course, but Clemens, a rare breed. He not only wants to finish the games he starts, but he prepares himself physically so that in the last 3 innings of games such as this, he's every bit as strong as he was at the start of the game.
Yeah, he sure is. And this is where Roger Clemens, pitchers that are able to pitch a long time, get stronger. They smell that victory at the end.
Some pitchers just smell.
For Roger Clemens, this is career start, 444. He has 113 complete games.
Walker gets just the second Twins hit. Line drive to center field, a big turn at first, but he'll hold up with a base hit. So for what it's worth, Todd Walker now 2 for 5 lifetime against Roger Clemens.
Well, Todd Walker, that split finger just goes the other way with it. He had a nice phone call the other day from his father. His father told him, don't press, have fun, enjoy it.
Here's Terry Steinbach. Yeah, it's a case where, particularly here in Toronto, where family and friends look at the box score and they see offers consecutively and they think, well, he's not going well. But Todd felt pretty good about his advance here on Friday and Saturday. He just didn't have much to show for it, and now a hit here this afternoon. 1-1 to Steinbach. One and two. There was a time when people didn't think there would be another 300-game winner because teams have gone to 5-man staffs. As a result, you get fewer starts, fewer chances to win games. Clemens has a chance because he keeps himself in such great shape. He did have some injury problems late in his Boston career. A strikeout of Steinbach. He has 229 wins, and he might get number 230 today. So we'll lead off the Toronto 7th inning. Strike one. Serafini had a 1-2-3 sixth inning. And now 2 strikes to Canseco.
Dan Serafini, 24 years old, first-round draft pick by the Twins in 1992.
Now, it's unfair to pick on Serafini, but he just happens to be the Twins pitcher who's out there. If you're young, as Serafini still is, and not to say that he doesn't try to keep himself in shape either, but boy, you would think that there'd be more young pitchers who would look at a Clemens and say, you know, I'm just going to drive myself so hard. Even if I fail, it's not going to be because I'm not physically at the very top of my game, you know?
Well, that's not the responsibility of a pitching coach or a manager to go to that length of saying, hey, you should run more, you should be in better shape. You have to look around, and I remember watching, when I grew up, I watched Jim Perry, Jim Cott, what they did to condition themselves, and I wanted to be like them. I wanted the consistency that those two guys had when I was 19 years old in the big leagues. When you look at a Roger Clemens, why wouldn't everybody want to be like him? Why wouldn't you try to do exactly what he did?
Well, I remember when you were with the Twins in your second stint. I wasn't around the team in your first stint, but I know I very often would see you running.
Oh, I loved running.
Yeah.
Running, to me, it strengthened my legs. It built up my endurance. And that's why I was able to play for 23 years, because I did a lot of distance running.
That, too, is why, you know, when it comes down to Hall of Fame voting, and you're in this group of pitchers like Jim Cott, Tommy John, guys who've been around for 23 years, and some people say, well, you know, he just played a long time, that's why he has so many wins. Well, why would that be a negative? I mean, if you think enough of yourself to stay in shape and you can still get hitters out, or if you're someone like a Harold Baines or a Paul Molitor, if you can still produce at the plate, that should add to your credentials as a player, not detract from them.
Well, a big swing by Canseco, swinging and missing. Serafini getting his first strikeout. Yeah, I mean, why not try to play the game as long as you can, and when it's all over with, you look yourself in the mirror and say, did I give it all I had? I know Molitor can say that. I know Harold Baines can say that, and I know Roger Clemens can say that.
Delgado with a pair of doubles and a pair of runs scored here this afternoon.
And I can say that.
Yeah.
When I retired, I knew it was time.
Well, that's because they took your uniform from you.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
That's a hint.
I know.
Actually,
this is fair.
In fairness, I know that was a tough thing for you. It was probably even tougher on Tom Kelly when he had to tell you.
It hurts.
Check swing, no swing, and it's 2-1.
Well, I'll never forget that day, because Tom Kelly and Andy McPhail were in the office when I went in, and we discussed it, and we all thought it was time to go do something else.
And now here you are.
Well, I got to be around the game. I love it.
2-2.
But you see the pitching staff that the Twins have for the future, the 25-year-olds, the LaTroy Hawkins, the Brad Radke, Serafini, we saw Travis Miller. I agree. I mean, if these guys have to get in the best shape of their lives year in and year out until it's over with.
Delgado strikes out. Serafini pitching very well out of the bullpen here today. 2 away in the 7th, pair of strikeouts, and now Cruz will hit.
And even though Frankie Rodriguez gave up 6 runs, 5 earned runs in 5 innings, I thought he pitched pretty good. I liked the way that he went at the Blue Jays. They're swinging a hot bat. There's some guys in that lineup like Fernandez and Green, Stewart. They're swinging a hot bat. I like the way Frankie went at the Blue Jays today, even though maybe his numbers didn't look good.
And the numbers should have been better. 2 of the earned runs charged to Frank really should have been unearned runs. The Twins had a misplay in right field. No error was charged. 1 strike to Jose Cruz. Cruz had a bit of a catharsis this year and had to change his mental approach. Being demoted as he was, hitting just .214, he called Roberto Alomar and talked at length with Alomar about hanging in there, perseverance, and being able to refocus, and just as important, not letting outside factors interfere with the talent that you have. And Alomar helped Cruz out a little bit in that regard.
And they also say when the Blue Jays got Tony Phillips, he helped a lot.
Sure. Grounded to short, and a low throw. Molitor stretches it out, makes the snag. 3 up, 3 down for Serafini again in the 7th. Six-0 Jays, and we go to the 8th inning. Tires Plus and the Twins have teamed up to offer seniors, those age 55 and older, a $5 discount on reserved seats at every afternoon home game. Redemption coupons are available exclusively at Tires Plus stores. You can call the charge lines for more information. And here's one case where if you're 56 years old and somebody labels you a senior, it's a good deal. You get a discount. I just hope I live that long. You're getting close, aren't you?
Yes, I am. 47.
Valentin 0 for 2. We were talking in last inning about Clemens and his chances of maybe being a 300-game winner. Today would be win number 230. And assuming he's got some 20-win seasons left, you can understand why it's so hard to win 300 games. He would have to, let's say his season ended with 17 wins. He finished the season with 230 wins. That's still 3.5 years of 20 wins. Here's a fly ball to deep center field, but Cruz is out there for the catch. Greg Maddux in the National League has a chance to do it, but he's still going to have to be the type of pitcher he is for 5 more years before he can do it. And the Twins haven't done much of anything against Clemens here this afternoon.
Well, Roger Clemens, 36 years old. He turned 36 on August 4th. So if he pitches into his 40s, he'll probably have a chance at 300.
One and 0 to Denny Hocking. And now 1-1.
Roger Clemens winning 4 Cy Young Awards. First one coming in 1986, followed up the next year in 87, and won one in 91. And his first year as a Blue Jay, won it last year.
One thing that's been enjoyable in watching Clemens all these years, and you'll see pitchers change their delivery from year to year, sometimes from at bat to at bat or pitch to pitch. You get from Clemens exactly, in terms of mechanics, what you saw back in the mid-'80s. I mean, he has the same compact, fluid, powerful delivery to the plate.
Yeah, he works off the first base side of the rubber. Has to throw the ball away to right-handers, in on left-handers.
Fly ball to left in the general direction of Shannon Stewart. He retreats to make the catch 2 away. Did your delivery change? Well, you mentioned before how early in your career you kind of crossed over on your delivery.
Yeah,
so you had to tinker with that a little bit.
That was the only thing that I ever changed on my delivery, is actually where my left foot landed going toward home plate. I opened up a little bit, allowing my legs to come into play a little bit more and drive more. That's what Clemens can really do. He really opens up quickly. If you watch his delivery, he comes to a tall set position. His hands aren't over his head, and right there he just explodes toward home plate.
0-2 to Brent Gates.
Let's take a closer look. He sets himself up right there, and then everything together. And you see his right arm and his back bending. And I think why pitchers like him, we've talked about Eric Milton, how sometimes he recoils and standing straight up. Watch Clemens, good follow through.
2-2. Sammy Sosa's hit number 54 for the Cubs. He's tied now with Mark McGwire in the home run race. And Roger Clemens could not care less. 3-2 now to Gates. Earlier in this road trip, the Twins saw Rolando Orojo, and he changes his delivery. He'll throw sidearm to right-handers, and he's got a bunch of different release points, but that's not the case with Clemens. He's every bit as tough in the 8th as he was in the 1st, and the Twins have just 2 little hits against him today. Is that what that was?
That was a
I just
foul,
thought
yes.
your breakfast was disagreeing with you. Rick Aguilera needs a tune-up inning. He has a couple of saves on this road trip, and this is not going to apparently be a game where he's going to be needed to pitch the 9th, so Tom Kelly will use him here in the 8th.
Well, Rick Aguilera last worked on Wednesday in Tampa Bay when he picked up his 33rd save of the year in the Twins' 7-3 win against the Devil Rays. Aggie only 12 walks in 63 and a third innings pitched.
Aggie saved Tuesday's win, Wednesday's win, and the Twins came close here on Friday. The other 2 games have not been close, and this one right now is not close. It's 6-0 Toronto. If you want Twins tickets, 33 Twins, 1-800-33 Twins, the numbers to call. Twins have a homestand starting tomorrow night. They fly home after the game here today and open up a 4-game series with the Devil Rays. Then the Twins are gone for about a week. Have a 5-game series with Oakland and Seattle, and then the last week of the year is spent at the Metrodome with 3 games against the White Sox and 4 with the Indians. They may actually get Tony Fernandez out. Aguilera on 1 pitch gets the job done. Fernandez with 2 more hits today. Not overly impressive numbers. I mean, the Blue Jays have just 8 hits, but they bunched them together, took advantage of some misplays by the Twins. A 3-run second, a 2-run third, and a single run unearned in the 5th. Darren Fletcher's reached on 2 Brent Gates errors in today's game. One and one from Aguilera to Fletcher.
Hey, you talked about those 2 errors of Gates. I thought that last one, that's a tough play right there. Brent Gates getting an error on it. Taking an RBI away from Fletcher.
But Fletcher's a catcher. And he does not run well. And in the mind of the official score, he thought that a better throw would have gotten Darren Fletcher. One and two. to Fletcher, the catcher. A strikeout for out number 2.
Well, the bullpen has done a very good job so far this afternoon. After Frankie Rodriguez worked the first 5 innings, Dan Serafini 2 innings of relief. Had a couple strikeouts, didn't allow any hits. Now Rick Aguilera, first 2 batters, 2 outs.
The Twins and Channel 4000 cooperatively can bring fans the official Twins homepage on the World Wide Web. For the latest team news, you get press box reports, player profiles, inning-by-inning updates during all Twins games. Stop by and see the Twins on Channel 4000 at www.mntwins.com. One strike to Graybeck.
Yeah, that's Rick Aguilera. That's Graybeck at the plate. There he is. Singled in his first at bat. Picked up RBI number 21 in the second inning.
Fouled away. We were talking about the Tampa Bay series. And we also talked about how so far in the month of August the Twins do not have a complete game. They have one more shot at it, although Bob Tewksbury still is listed as the starter for tomorrow's game. Whether he makes the start or not remains to be seen. And even if he there's Rick Aguilera, if he does make the start, the chances of the Twins getting a complete game in August aren't very good, because Bob, I don't think, is quite ready to do that, although he did pitch 5 innings in his last start.
Talked to Toops yesterday about how his arm felt. He threw a little on the side. He said it feels great.
Good. Graybeck just serves it to center field, a base hit. A 2-out single. The first hit against the Twins bullpen. First base runner to reach against the Twins pen. And now it's Gonzalez's turn. Twins are scheduled to pitch in the homestand. Bob Tewksbury, Eric Milton, LaTroy Hawkins, and Brad Radke. They will face Tony Saunders, Julio Santana, Wilson Alvarez, and Brian Ricard. We will be televising Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We will not be televising on Thursday.
Well, that base hit by Graybeck with 2 outs allows Alex Gonzalez to come up for one more time. He's on a 12-game hitting streak, a career high.
Pop up near first. Molitor being given a gift from the gods just before that pitch was thrown. Clouds came over the stadium, the shadows. So Aguilera pitches a clean 8. 6-0 as we go to the 9th. A couple of points of interest here. Clemens trying to pitch his 3rd straight shutout, and also it might be Paul Molitor's last at bat here in Toronto. And again, we just wonder whether the fans here are aware of the possible significance of it and whether they will respond accordingly. We'll find out momentarily. It'll be Alex Ochoa, Paul Molitor, and Matt Lawton.
Well, he's been getting a nice ovation from Friday night to every at-bat since.
Ochoa has one of the 2 hits against Clemens. We don't have access to a radar gun, but that sounded like it was 94 miles per hour.
He's still throwing in the 90s. Roger Clemens right now, 109 pitches, 62 for strikes, 7 strikeouts.
Ace pitchers are often called horses. Sometimes they're called worse than that, but Jack Morris was a horse. You were a horse. Roger Clemens is a Clydesdale. 1 away. The introduction made, and not much of a response. One away. And you wonder what's going through his mind. This certainly would be a different farewell appearance than, say, in Boston. Certainly against Tampa Bay.
I know what's going through his mind right now. I hope Roger throws me a cookie right down the middle of the plate and I get a base hit.
Wouldn't that be nice? Instead, a liner to Delgado for out number 2.
Well, Roger Clemens, 18-10 lifetime against the Minnesota Twins.
Man is 16-6, and the Twins are responsible for one of those 6 losses, but put an asterisk by that one because Clemens had a pulled groin muscle and only faced 2 men. Here's Lawton. Grounded to first. 3 straight shutouts for the Rockets. What an afternoon for Roger Clemens. The Twins had the bases loaded in the first and 1 out. And as it turned out, that became their only chance this afternoon to do much of anything. They did not advance a runner to second base after the first inning. 115 pitches, 66 strikes. And the Twins hitters this afternoon were simply overwhelmed by Roger Clemens. Twins are heading home, but before they do, we'll wrap up the series from Toronto in a moment. Twins didn't figure to do a lot of scoring today against Roger Clemens at the top of his game, his 12th straight win. And Toronto did some scoring early on against Frank Rodriguez, and the Blue Jays have made it a 3-game sweep over the Minnesota Twins. So the road trip ends with a 2-4 mark. Not a very easy way to wrap up a road trip when you're facing the hottest thing in baseball.
Well, he put on a pitching clinic today, Roger Clemens. 3rd straight shutout. Over those 27 innings, he's only allowed 8 hits while striking out 31. So he's on the top of his game.
He did walk 3 guys.
Yeah, he did.
So the Twins had some. He was overwhelming, and Roger Clemens with his 12th straight win not only has his 12th straight win, but he's won our Geico Player of the Game award.
You think so? Roger Clemens, career number 230. This year, 17-6.
And Clemens now facing the Twins for the 4th time. He's 3-1 against them this year, and he's a very dominant pitcher when he's at the top of his game. And obviously, when you're facing someone who's already won 11 in a row, you don't figure to do too much damage. So the Twins head home now with a 2-4 road trip, and we'll be right back when we come back to Skydome in a moment.